You ever had that feeling, where an app or a website that you absolutely love just starts to suck? Suddenly the search results are a mess, your feed is just one ad after another, and the features you use all the time are now locked behind a paywall? It's super frustrating, right? But what if I told you this isn't just bad luck? What if it's actually a predictable and, well, very profitable cycle?
Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. The name for this whole process is, well, it's provocative, but it's also incredibly accurate. Enshittification. Yeah, it's a term coined by writer Cory Doctorow, and it perfectly describes this pattern. It's how a platform can start out amazing for its users, only to slowly, piece by piece, get worse, all in the name of making more money. So let's treat this like a story, because it really is one. It's kind of a tragedy, actually, following a platform from its hopeful, bright-eyed beginning all the way to its bitter, value-sucking end. Every single one of these platforms starts out with a beautiful promise. I mean, look at this. On one side, you have the dream. They're totally focused on you, the user. They want to build a real community, solve a real problem you have. But then, over time, that promise, it twists. It turns into this much harsher reality, where shareholder value is king, and the goal shifts from building that community to just extracting as much cash from it as humanly possible. This whole story plays out in 3 very predictable acts. Act 1 is the honeymoon phase, the seduction. The platform is incredible. Maybe it's even free. The whole point is to get you and your friends friends to sign up. Then comes Act 2, the pivot. Now that you're hooked, now that you're locked in, the platform's attention starts to wander over to its business customers, the advertisers, the sellers. Your experience gets just a little bit worse, so their experience can be more profitable. And finally, you get to Act 3, the squeeze. This is where the platform turns on everybody, making the service worse for both users and businesses, just to funnel every last cent to its shareholders. So let's make this real. What does that final, painful stage actually look like for the people using the platform? Let's take a look at the freelance platform Upwork and hear it directly from its users. And there it is. This is the voice of someone feeling that final squeeze. It's that moment when the platform stops feeling like a helpful tool and starts to feel like an opponent. And look at the word they use, exploitative. The very thing that was supposed to create opportunity now feels like it's working against you. And you see this sentiment over and over again. This user feels like they're being milked from every possible angle. The focus has completely flipped from creating value for its users to just extracting value from them. And as a result, the opportunities that made the platform so great in the first place, they're just drying up. This number right here, this puts all of that frustration into stark reality. According to an analysis shared by users, only 1 out of every 19 freelancers on Upwork actually gets hired in a year. Just think about that for a second. That's a huge community of people all competing for scraps, while the platform makes money off every single one of them, selling them the tokens they need just for the chance to apply for a job.
So we've seen the what. We've seen what it feels like. But the really big question is why? What is the engine under the hood that drives this decay in the platforms we use every single day?
Well, it all starts with this idea, a centralized architecture. Basically, what this definition from a research paper is saying is that one single company holds all the cards. They own the servers, they write the rules, they control every single interaction. And when you have that much unchecked power, there's nobody to stop you from changing the game to benefit yourself.
And this just puts the insane scale of that centralized power on full display. I mean, we're talking about a tiny handful of companies that have almost autocratic control over platforms used by billions of people, with market caps in the trillions. When one company has that much control, they can rewrite the rules of the game whenever they want.
The other key ingredient here is something called network effects. It's a really simple idea. A service gets more valuable the more people use it, right? A social network with just one person on it is totally useless. But one with a billion people? It's essential. This creates what you could call a moat. It's a lock-in that makes it incredibly hard for us to leave, even when the platform starts treating us terribly. I mean, where are you gonna go? All your friends are still there.
So that's the diagnosis. You've got centralized power mixed with these powerful network effects. It sounds pretty hopeless, doesn't it? But what if we could actually rewrite the rules of the game? Let's take a look at the search for a cure.
So, one of the biggest attempts to do this is Europe's Digital Markets Act, or the DMA, and its goals are to hit these problems right where it hurts, finally defining what's fair, fixing that massive power imbalance between the giant platforms and us, the users, enforcing some real competition back into the marketplace.
See, here's the fundamental problem. Right now, the internet is basically a bunch of walled gardens. Your friends on one app can't see your posts on another. Your contacts on a messaging service can't talk to someone on a different one. Each platform is its own little fortress, and it's designed specifically to keep you and all your data locked up inside.
The DMA's secret weapon for tearing down these walls is a concept called interoperability. It sounds technical, but it's a beautifully simple idea. Just make the platforms talk to each other. Think about how email works. You don't need a Gmail account to send a message to someone who has Gmail, right? The system just works, no matter who you use. Interoperability aims to bring that exact same freedom to our social lives online, letting you switch services without losing everything.
Now, regulation is a huge step for sure, but what if we could go even deeper? What if we could build a fundamentally different kind of internet from the ground up, one that's designed to reverse this decay from the very beginning?
And this chart shows us that the centralized model we're so used to, it's not the only option out there. Research points to all these other flavors. You've got decentralized models like Bitcoin, where there's no single owner, federated models like email, where different services can all talk to each other, and even grassroots peer-to-peer models. Each one of these completely changes who holds the power.
And that brings us to the most important question of all. Are we just stuck in this endless cycle, watching our favorite online spaces get built up just to be torn down for profit? Or by pushing for new rules and exploring entirely new ways of building things, is a fairer, more resilient, and just plain better internet actually possible? That's really the choice that's in front of us right now.